Imagine a silent desert night shattered by primal terror. A devoted conservationist faces the unimaginable when a starving lioness stalks her camp. What happens next reveals the fragile and deadly balance between humans and wildlife in one of the harshest places on Earth. Stay with us as we unravel this true story of survival, courage, and the wild's unforgiving laws. In the heart of Namibia's vast, unforgiving desert, a silent battle rages, one between the raw forces of nature and the fragile existence of humanity. Here, life claws forward against impossible odds, where even the fiercest predators have adapted to survive in a land that seems to reject them at every turn. But when humans tread unwittingly into this ancient realm, ignorance can quickly turn admiration into tragedy. This is a story not just of survival, but of the delicate and often dangerous balance between man and beast, one that, if disturbed, unleashes consequences no one can escape. The call came through sharp and frantic, an emergency unfolding in real time. "There's been an attack, a lion attack. We need help immediately." The voice on the line was strained with terror. "Someone's been mauled. He's dying. Please, stay calm. Where are you calling from? Is the lion still nearby?" The answer was chilling. "Yes, she's circling the camp. My friend, he's torn apart. His head... Oh God, his head!" Emergency responders were dispatched without delay, their orders clear: keep everyone inside vehicles, stay safe. In Namibia's stark wilderness, the desert lions were no ordinary predators. They were survivors forged by millennia of relentless adaptation, living in one of Earth's most extreme environments. Unlike the thousands of lions scattered across Namibia's savannas, this rare group, numbering around 80 strong, had mastered survival in the vast Namib desert, an expanse so arid and harsh it defies human imagination. These desert lions were a paradox. Fierce, wild hunters thriving in a place where water was almost a myth, and the daytime heat could cook the skin off a man. The Namib isn't just any desert. It's the oldest on the planet, shaped over hundreds of millions of years by wind and sun. An ancient landscape where every creature has evolved in extraordinary ways to endure what seems impossible. The flora and fauna here have refined their survival tools through eons of hardship. These desert lions embody one of nature's most astonishing adaptations. They can survive days, sometimes even longer, without a single drop of freestanding water. While almost every large predator would perish quickly without hydration, these lions extract moisture directly from their prey's blood and flesh with extraordinary efficiency. Their bodies operate like a finely tuned machine, sustaining life on the fluids contained within each kill. This rare ability sets them apart not only from other lions, but nearly every carnivore on Earth. Their existence is a living testament to nature's unyielding will to persist, a paradox that fascinates scientists and locals alike. For the people of Namibia, these lions are more than just animals roaming the desert. They are symbols of resilience and endurance. Revered and fiercely protected, they are considered national treasures, embodying the spirit of survival against all odds. Despite their small population, a passionate network of conservation efforts supports their fragile existence. Local communities stand united in their determination to safeguard these iconic predators, recognizing that the lion's fate is deeply intertwined with their own. Among the most devoted champions of these desert lions was a man named Jace Mallory, a 59-year-old businessman whose commitment to conservation bordered on obsession. Jace built his fortune supplying rugged, high-end 4x4 vehicles and gear tailored for Namibia's extreme wilderness. Everything from off-road safaris to ethical hunting and survival expeditions. But he was far from a typical businessman. His generosity and dedication to wildlife preservation were legendary. Jace poured not only his wealth, but his heart and soul into protecting the desert lions. His influence was so profound that one of the Desert Pride's dominant males was named Mallory in his honor, a living tribute to his tireless devotion. Tragically, Mallory the lion met a grim end after repeatedly preying on livestock belonging to vulnerable subsistence farmers along Namibia's arid northwest coast. He was euthanized, a harsh but necessary reminder of the fragile and often heartbreaking balance between wildlife conservation and human livelihoods. This event underscored the tensions that constantly challenge coexistence in Namibia's wilderness, the desperate needs of local communities struggling to survive versus the imperative to protect endangered species. At that time, Jace was preparing to transition from his business ventures to a retirement focused entirely on conservation. His children, Heidi and Dean, had grown into responsible adults, and after decades building a commercial empire that ensured their future, he and his wife Connie looked forward to dedicating themselves fully to Namibia's wild treasures. Their vision was ambitious. They aimed to traverse the entire Namibian coast in a fully equipped 4x4 vehicle, exploring and protecting the desert's elusive inhabitants. They spared no expense, outfitting their mobile home with every comfort and crucial safety feature, including a sturdy rooftop tent designed to protect them from predators and venomous reptiles. Their journey began in late May of 2025 at a campground tucked deep within the dry bed of the Namib River, a place steeped in family history. It's essential to understand that most of Namibia's rivers, like the Namib, are ephemeral, flowing only briefly after seasonal rains and remaining dry for the majority of the year. The Namib's dry, sandy riverbed was more than just a campsite. It was a gateway into one of the harshest, most unforgiving landscapes on Earth, where life clings fiercely to survival, and respect for the wild is a matter of life and death. The Keebles deliberately selected this exact campsite, grounded in years of careful observation. Through countless days spent tracking the elusive desert lions, they knew this stretch near the dry bed of the Namib River was a crucial hunting ground for the pride. The seasonal riverbeds offered fleeting shelter to the desert's dwindling prey, drawing in the lions like moths to a flame. But the Keebles were not alone in their mission. Two other vehicles, carrying close friends and fellow conservationists equally committed to protecting Namibia's fragile desert wildlife, had joined the group, swelling the caravan to 6 intrepid campers. Among them was Jace Mallory's longtime friend, renowned wildlife photographer Dirk Henrik, a man whose lens had captured the haunting beauty and desperate struggle of these desert survivors. Recent reports from local trackers had cast a somber shadow over their expedition. The lions were growing dangerously thin, their skeletal frames a grim testament to starvation. Namibia's unusually heavy rainy season earlier that year had ironically dealt a cruel blow. The sudden abundance of water inland had lured the lion's prey far away from the arid coastal strip, chasing the green grasses and replenished watering holes deeper in the interior. This exodus left the desert lions stranded along the barren coast. Their primary food source vanished, and their survival hanging by a thread. The ecosystem's delicate balance had been shattered. Just a few years prior, Dirk had produced a critically acclaimed documentary about a particular female lioness named Luna, known to many as the heart of the desert pride. His film premiered at the prestigious Cannes Film Festival, shedding light on the harsh realities these creatures faced. Now the team's urgent goal was to relocate Luna's pride, tracking the signal from the GPS collar she wore, a vital piece of technology that would reveal the true toll the season's scarcity had taken on their bodies and spirits. After 2 grueling days battling dust storms and relentless wind, the group finally arrived at the chosen riverbed and began their familiar ritual of setting up camp. The mountain winds howled across the open desert, whipping sand into fierce gusts that forced the campers to arrange their vehicles into a protective half-moon formation. This barrier shielded their campfire, a flickering flame fighting against the encroaching twilight and the bitter gusts. Yet this small beacon of warmth and light had an unintended consequence. It drew the attention of Luna herself, the very lioness who had once captivated Dirk's camera and now stood dangerously close to the brink of death from starvation. These desert lions, through long-term exposure to human presence, had developed an uncanny familiarity with the sounds, smells, and even the glow of campfires. They associated these signs with the humans who frequently observed them, creatures strange yet non-threatening in their eyes. For Luna, starving and desperate, the sight of the glowing fire and clustered humans represented an unprecedented opportunity. Weeks, perhaps months had passed since her last proper meal. The scent of food and warmth, so tantalizingly near, ignited her primal instincts. The group, unaware of the silent predator stalking their perimeter, ate their evening meal and retired early, the harsh wind extinguishing their usual campfire stories and late-night rituals. Not a single camper sensed the deadly gaze fixed upon them in the moonless darkness. Luna lay quietly in the shadows, her patience a chilling testament to hunger's power. She knew instinctively that eventually one would stray from the group's safety. One small mistake could become the difference between life and death. And at precisely 1:30 in the morning, fate shifted. Jace Mallory, roused by nature's call, carefully climbed down from his rooftop tent, his movements deliberate and cautious in the dark. But as he turned away from the ladder, Luna was already there, no more than 4 yards away, a mere whisper in the night. The shock was instantaneous. A guttural scream tore from Jace's throat, raw with terror, before the lioness struck with terrifying speed and force. Her powerful jaws clamped down on his head, teeth sinking deep in a brutal, merciless attack. Connie Mallory, awakened by her husband's strangled scream, heard the horrifying chorus of growls, frantic thrashing, and desperate cries beneath their tent. Without hesitation, driven by fierce love and raw instinct, she sprang from the safety of their rooftop refuge. The 6-foot drop to the hard ground below was met with the grace and agility of a wildcat. As the other campers scrambled awake, peering out in disbelief, they were confronted with a nightmare made real. A fully grown lioness, immense and powerful, had Jace's head firmly locked in her jaws, her claws digging into his torso in a deadly grip. And atop the lioness, a woman, fueled by desperation and courage, Connie herself, fighting tooth and nail to save the man she loved. With an almost superhuman surge of strength, Connie grabbed hold of Luna's GPS collar, a beacon meant to protect, but now a lifeline in the battle for survival. Summoning every ounce of adrenaline, she hauled the massive beast off Jace's battered body. The scene was nothing short of heroic. A woman weighing barely 130 pounds dragging a lion more than twice her size. Momentarily stunned by the unexpected resistance, Luna sprang to her feet, ready to strike again, her predatory instincts razor-sharp. But before she could lunge, a sharp blow from a metallic flashlight, wielded by one of the other terrified campers, connected solidly with her head, buying precious seconds. The remaining 4 campers, now fully alert and armed with whatever they could grasp in their panic and desperate stand against the night's terror, holding on to only a sturdy pan, a heavy flashlight, a robust walking stick, and a small pocket knife, 3 of the campers formed a desperate, improvised defensive line. They advanced as one, their unified front forcing Luna, the starving lioness once known as Charlie, to recoil momentarily into the shadows. Her muzzle glistened ominously, dripping with blood and horrifyingly dotted with tiny fragments of human scalp, a chilling testament to the brutal attack she had just executed. Every second was a battle for survival, the line between predator and prey painfully blurred under the desert's unforgiving sky. With frantic urgency fueled by terror and despair, Dirk Henrik and Connie Mallory managed to drag Jace into the backseat of one of their vehicles. What met their eyes was a horrifying vision. Jace's face was a shattered landscape of torn flesh and crushed bone, his throat, cheeks, and scalp ravaged beyond recognition by Luna's savage jaws and razor-sharp claws. His blood-soaked shirt bore the dark stain of agony where nails had ripped mercilessly through muscle and skin. The labored, gurgling breaths he drew were agonizing whispers of life slipping away. No time remained for first aid, only a frantic scramble toward help, but Luna was relentless. Starved beyond reason, her newly awakened taste for human flesh drove her back to the camp repeatedly, each time forced away by the courageous, defensive actions of the remaining campers. Their impromptu fortress held, and only when she finally retreated deep into the concealing darkness did the survivors allow themselves a brief respite. Their gear lay abandoned where it fell, a silent, haunting testament to the night's terror. The 3 vehicles roared into motion, tires churning the desert sand as they sped desperately toward the nearest lodge, voices crackling urgently over satellite phones calling for assistance. Yet, despite their desperate efforts, it was too late. Jace Mallory had succumbed to his horrific injuries. His fight for life ended under the vast Namibian sky. Conservation officers later found Luna at the abandoned campsite, her presence marked by a grim scene. She was found chewing on a leather boot left behind by the terrified campers, her insatiable hunger evident in every desperate bite. Before help could fully arrive, she vanished into the desert's forbidding vastness, a ghost of hunger and survival. Connie, shattered by grief but unbroken in spirit, heard that a team had been dispatched to euthanize Luna. Despite the unbearable pain of loss, she and her children made a heartbreaking plea: let Luna live. Their argument was one of profound compassion and respect. They reminded authorities that the Mallorys had entered Luna's domain, a wild, untamed realm where survival was a constant, brutal struggle, and that killing the starving lioness would not bring Jace back. Their plea might have been honored, if not for Luna's next desperate act. Driven by hunger and emboldened by a newfound tactic, Luna tracked another campfire, instinctively drawn to the vulnerable presence of humans. She ruthlessly tore through a camper's tent, claws slicing the canvas, shredding the man's shoulder even as he slept, unaware of the nightmare unfolding inches from his face. Fortunately, the man carried a licensed firearm. In a frantic moment of survival, he fired warning shots into the night, the echoes of gunfire signaling danger. Luna understood immediately she must retreat. The injured man escaped into his vehicle, fleeing the scene despite his wounds. But this incident was the tragic tipping point. Luna had now killed one person, seriously wounded another, and, most alarmingly, had learned to actively seek out campsites, viewing humans as easy prey. Her GPS collar, meant to aid conservationists, had become a deadly beacon, enabling swift tracking and capture. Authorities put her down humanely, ending a desperate life, but raising painful questions about the future of coexistence in Namibia's harsh desert. Jace Mallory's death, though profoundly tragic, reignited a fierce debate within conservation circles. It spotlighted the urgent need to revisit and overhaul lion conservation strategies. The incident exposed an unsustainable reliance on local funding and volunteer efforts, often uncompensated, driven solely by deep-rooted love for the land and its wildlife. Namibia's unique conservation model needed more. Professional staff, government park resources, and systemic support to match the challenges these magnificent creatures and their human neighbors face daily. In the wake of tragedy, Connie Mallory emerged as a symbol of courage and fierce love. Known widely as the woman who fought a lion and survived, her story became a beacon across Namibia, a testament to the untamed strength born from desperation and devotion. Yet while the camper's encounter made headlines, it only scratched the surface of a deeper, ongoing crisis. Subsistence farmers along the Namibian coast face relentless losses, their precious livestock torn apart by starving lions. This daily battle threatens not just animals or crops, but entire livelihoods and communities. The tension is raw and palpable, a ticking clock counting down to an inevitable catastrophe, one that could claim human life if solutions are not found. Namibia, celebrated worldwide for its pioneering conservation efforts, now stands at a crossroads. It must act swiftly and compassionately, crafting sustainable, humane solutions that protect both its wild heritage and the people who live among it. The delicate, precarious balance between survival and preservation demands ongoing vigilance, thoughtful innovation, and unwavering commitment. Only then can the fierce spirit of the Namib and its majestic lions endure alongside the communities that call this remarkable land home. This tragic encounter is a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild world we share. When we enter nature's domain, respect and caution must guide every step. The story of Jace Mallory and Luna the lioness is not just about loss, it's a call to action. Protecting wildlife means understanding their instincts and the pressures they face in a changing world. Conservation efforts depend on all of us, governments, communities, and individuals, to work together for sustainable coexistence. Every animal, no matter how fierce or vulnerable, plays a vital role in the ecosystem. We must honor their lives by supporting humane, effective protection programs and by educating ourselves about the risks and responsibilities of interacting with wildlife. Let this story inspire greater awareness and respect whenever you venture into the world. Share this video to spread the message and help protect the incredible creatures that roam our planet. Together, we can build a future where humans and wildlife thrive side by side.